recording. Alright, so I'm going to break down NAS. So just so you can get the whole thought process and the whole reason why I ever took the trade in the first place. Because it seemed you didn't understand that, so I'll just break down that again. So you come here on the 1 hour time frame of NAS, right? You know how I explained to you the other day where I explained to you the other day how, let me clear everything on the screen. So I explained to you the other day how price around this zone was showing signs that it wants to buy. Where is that zone? It's here. Do you still remember that I was showing you here that how price was rejecting this zone? This was supposed to be the
Mm-hmm.
continuation, but price just wasn't closing on the 1 hour time frame. So it was just rejecting. So we took a buy trade here. If you can remember, we took a buy trade here, and then we took it all the way up here. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Good. So after that move, we know that for a fact that we knew for a fact that sellers are here. We knew sellers are here. When price came in, hit this level, we knew sellers were here, and we needed price to break above here for price to continue bullish. So we watched price hit this level multiple times, failed to break, did this correction. This was news something. So after all this, price then eventually broke out of this zone, and we called buys here again. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, good. So we took a buy trade here again. The buy trade we took here was based off the 15 minutes time frame. And if you go to the 15 minutes time frame, you're gonna see where we marked out this area on the 15 minutes time frame. Marked out this zone here, saying hey, if price was to break above this zone, then we can be looking for buys. Which price broke above the zone, so we look for buys and we just targeted highs. And this was the end of the day. So we closed the trade somewhere around here because this was the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Now after this happened, price. Let me go back to the 1 hour time frame. So after this happened, price started to correct itself, which was cool for us because as long as these lows were still being maintained, price can always correct itself, but we are still bullish because overall we have this high here that we were thinking price was coming to trying to get to. And
Mm-hmm.
also, if you also mark out this level, if you also mark out this high right here, this level, price broke out of it. Look at that. So if you also mark out this high level here, saying above here, buyers coming. Price broke out of that level, so we knew that buyers was supposed to be in this market already. We are getting this. So as we are getting this correction, it was cool for us to be getting this correction as long as these lows are maintained because of course price can in the and buyers can come into the market anytime and keep pushing price higher.
Mm-hmm.
Now session comes. So session comes. I take this off again, and during session, in and around session, I marked this out again. So we already know why we marked this level out because I could say it. Reject, 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 eventually break out. Makes new highs, starts to correct itself. We knew for a fact that this could also be a deep correction, maybe a correction into this place, and then back above here, buyers can continue to push price up. So Session comes, session goes around somewhere around here. Then why session was about to hit, I go down to the 15 minutes time frame. Looking at this play, this zone, what I was trying to see is to see if I was seeing those bullish structures start to come out on the 15 minutes time frame so that we can take buys. Correct? Are you with me?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Now that I'm looking at it, if I would have just looked at the 15-minute, we did break two lows or two higher lows right there on the 15-minute. Because where your level is the consolidation and support, and then there's two higher lows above that, and you can tell that price broke both of those. So if I would have looked at the 15-minute, that would have told me right there that price was already bearish.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to break it down for you so you just see that I just didn't get in just because of 15 minutes only. There was a whole thought process to it that made the 15 minutes break make sense. Because sometimes you can get a 15 minutes break. I'm going to also show you where you can get a 15 minutes break and it will not be a good reason for you to take a buy. I'm showing
Mm.
you this one right now. So you just see that, okay, 15 minutes time was not the only reason why I sold. So like I was saying, we have price starting to build, try to build up here, but didn't quite make a build up because this is not a build up. If you actually look at it in the naked sense of trading, this is not a build up. This is a consolidation. Some people will say, hey, this is price has made a high here, correct, took out the high. This is wrong. This is not a build up. So
Yeah.
I needed a build up, more like a high. This was good for me. I knew this was good. I needed price to correct itself and then keep pushing up. But then seeing that price was making these lower lows and lower highs, I knew this could just keep going down. It's possible. I was like, let me see. So session comes, it was around here or something. Session comes, price doesn't go any higher, but then starts breaking out of this zone under these levels. I was like, if price is breaking out of this zone, most likely it's heading for the next zone, which is here. And if price breaks out of this next zone, then we are dropping. I got in here, but the entry was a bit early because, yeah, I should have waited to see price take out this zone for me to then get into a sell, something like that. But I got in around here. I think I got in, but based on the 5 minutes, basically here. Immediately I saw this price take out this zone. I saw this leg come up. I got in the trade. I had my stop loss here, and I knew let's get in and let's see how price reacts on this zone. If price reacts well on this zone, we are most if price is to because I'm like if this zone is going to hold, we are most likely going to see a build up. We need that build up to show you that buyers are in the market. So for the fact that this build up failed, if price gets down here, I can just maybe go risk free or just watch the whole thing to see how it plays out. But we need the build up because this drop that happened here makes sense. It wasn't just any drop. It wasn't just like this drop. No, it was a structured drop. It's telling me to make lower lows and lower highs and made the drop. And even this one that was happening here as well shows you price wants to continue going down. So it's not like the drop does not make sense. It makes sense. So the whole thought process to it was that hey, price isn't even supposed to come this far in the first place. But now price has come this far, starts to build up here. You would expect price to start pushing up. But no, tries to fails. And it tries to and fails at the level where buyers should be in control. Tries to fail and starts taking out lows on that particular zone where buyers should be in control. That kind of for me personally, from my experience, me having a lot of experience trading ICC, this is a sign. And also we are in session. In session with good volume, price is in an uptrend, you don't want to see price taking out lows. If price is in a
Right.
downtrend, you don't want to see price taking out highs. In session, now we are in session and price is taking out lows, and I've already formed lower lows and lower highs before session and currently taking out lows. I mean, if you took buys, like you are bound to lose. You just called your own loss because the signs were obvious unless you are so invested in your own opinion. But if you just said fuck my opinion and just look at what the chart is showing you, it has started giving you that bearish structures, and even during session, it is still breaking lows. There's no way this can be a fake out. It can only be maybe you say this might be fake out if even if maybe before structure price was building high, like example here where price was building this high, make high, correct itself, make a new high, correct itself, make another high, then session comes, all of a sudden price starts dropping heavily. So yeah, when you see maybe price break under this level without closing, you can say, okay, I'm gonna watch if it's also going to break this zone as well, because this might just be to tap out some buys out of the market. Because at least when you look at what price has been doing before the session, it's been building the highs and the lows, trying to show you the price is bullish. But in this particular one, price has been building lower lows and lower highs, trying to show you that it's bearish. And session comes, it still continues to break lows. That was enough reason for you to say, maybe I'm wrong, most likely. But what happens most times is maybe because you already have a picture in your head. I also had a buy picture in my head, to be honest with you. So, but because you already have a picture in your head of what I would say what you want market to do or what you expect the market to do, because you already have that picture in your mind, you kind of see yourself kind of shut down other obvious signs just because you want uh your own opinions or your own ideas to come in fruition, something like that. So this scenario was just made sense to me. It just made sense to me that buys I'm looking for is gone, and sales are like in this market like crazy, and should be looking for sales and not buys anymore. So it was just was a good trade, to be honest with you. Some would say gamble, but as you can see right here, me breaking down the trade for you, there was no gamble here. It was just a clean setup, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
So what I'm just basically saying in general is that why you are marking out your charts, marking out your charts and getting your levels, trying to get into trades during session, you also have to have an open mind that what whatever I'm marking out right here can be wrong, and you just want price to you just want to listen to what price is showing you. That's why some people may prefer to mark out charts in during session, but I don't prefer that. I prefer that you mark out charts when you have a more calm mind, and then when session comes, you see how price is looking, right? Because if you did like that, when session comes, the worst that would happen is that you will just miss out on the trade because you are looking for buys, but buys never happened for you, so you just avoided the whole trade the whole time. So that
Mm,
would be the max thing that will happen to you. But aside from that, I was just like I don't know. I just prefer to mark out charts when session wasn't there yet. When session comes, hmm gold. I was supposed to call out gold, man. And I was kind of disappointed that I didn't call out gold because I had a feeling it was all based on USDJPY. So this trade was good, but I'll explain to you the reason why I kind of was like Now let's not take this trade. This was USDJPY. I'll break down this trade for you as well. So right from the beginning, the daily time frame, I realized that hey, this is a low, high, lower high, higher high, lower sorry, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So price is not really taking out this level under this level. Sorry. So the 4 hour time frame, see price is consolidating here, but not really making any notable breaks. One thing I saw is price made this high, correct itself, make a new high, give a deep correction, but also did take out these low levels. I was like, price could just keep pushing up, trying to get to this high level, right? Then I go to the 1 hour time frame, and I see here in the 1 hour time frame, price was bearish at first, lower lows, lower high, lower lows, lower high, lower lows, lower high. And then after making this low, price makes this high, corrects itself, and then takes out the first high, corrects itself, and takes out another high again. So it was showing me that price is starting to reverse bullish, right? Are you following?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I go to the 15 minutes time frame, and actually this is where I saw the trade, but I saw it outside of session. That's why I didn't take it. I didn't even call it. So I go to outside of session, I see it again. Okay, price broke out here, corrected itself. This was when I saw it actually. After price broke out here, corrected itself. Like if price was to get above here again, buy is valid. But that happened, and this was like 2 hours before New York. So I didn't take this trade. Just watched it. Price started to break out and started to form this high. Then it was a bit high already. I was expecting to see some pullback for me to get in to keep pushing price up. But here's what made me say, okay, maybe I should take a break from this trade. I was like, um, if you, I was like, if I look at this trade, it's kind of in a no trade zone. Even though I have made everything make sense, but this is still my own opinion. Doesn't mean that that's what the market is doing. I it looks a bit rubbish because if you go to the 4 hour time frame, look at this, and you just instantly see that this is kind of a no trade zone because
Mhm.
market is just moving around here anyhow. So I was like, hey, even if this trade makes sense on the 15 minutes time frame, this looks like those trades that I used to lose then, that used to ruin my whole week. Then where I would make a lot of money all week, and then come and take this kind of trade and just blow my money off the trade. So it was like a trade, and I was like to myself, why are you even taking this trade? There's no reason to, even though this 15 minutes time frame looks like it makes sense, but there's absolutely no reason to be in this trade. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And it wasn't really, there was no um obvious trend, and it is a no trade zone. So I was like, I feel like I'm gonna just head out, right? So this whole trade, when I left around here, it now made me to start kind of having doubts on other trades as well, even though gold was so obvious. Like there was nothing more obvious last week than gold. So this one, I just had a feeling. I didn't have any particular reason. I just had a feeling that hey, this we're in a no trade zone. So this whole thing right here can afford to not play out. Like or like price can literally drop, take out these lows and still be bullish. That there was no reason for me to be in this trade, and I'm happy I closed it. I would have regretted it a lot. Anyways, gold, gold was good. Marked out gold here. This was actually where. Let me go to 1 hour time frame. Let me clear out gold. So this is the 1 hour on gold, and this is where I knew okay, price is bullish on gold. We know for a fact that no price was around here then. The day before, the day before we took a buy on gold around somewhere down here. We're targeting these highs, and then price didn't just hit these high; it broke it out on the 4 hour time frame. For that matter, that was a strong indication of trend. So after price after price broke out of these um highs, we knew that the zone um gold was targeting here next. But I didn't know price was gonna correct though. I was just thinking that that day I was thinking gold is just gonna go and hit this level. But it didn't go. It broke out but didn't go. Right? So the next day
Mhm.
comes in. And the next day comes in, I knew that all I should be looking for was when I see gold trying to reverse because it needs to get to this zone. This is its next target. This is like the next level where the sellers are. This is the next would I say demand zone, I would say. So I was like expecting price to start getting to this zone, right? The price corrects itself, comes the next day, and this is where it gets interesting. So if you go to the 15 minutes time frame, so the 15 minutes time frame, um, so 15 minutes time frame, we see where we are here where price starts first by making these price made this is a high, price made a low here, corrected itself, made another low, corrected itself, made a new low, right? Correct, makes a new low, right? And then for the
Mhm.
first time, price takes out this high here, does this, brings in a lot of buyers in. But I didn't really catch this here though. I was watching it. It starts taking out these lows. I was like, man, many traders are gonna be fucked right here. But this was still out of session. So uh, at this zone, I was thinking price was going to keep going down, to be honest. But then that happens after this, price then gives this deep pullback, comes down here. I wanted to enter here, but this was a bit of a gamble because there wasn't any obvious sign, but I kind of was seeing that trend change coming. I just
Mhm.
couldn't call it out yet because this was a bit of a gamble. I needed something more, right? So immediately I see this push here, I start to like the trade. So for that reason, I kind of go down to the lower time frame because we are also in session already at this point, right? We no we weren't in session yet, but we're like getting there. It was almost session, like it was close. So after I saw this push, this correction, and I said, okay, let me chill. Price correct itself, giving me the perfect entry, but I said let me chill. Then price broke out of this high and then broke out of this high. This was where the whole trade became so obvious. Like mainly when it was 50, 59 so I won't confuse you. But immediately we got this breakout above this high, it was just obvious that buys are in the market. And then this was like 30 minutes before session comes. So it was just obvious that hey, buyers are in this market. And this was where I wanted to call it trade. Like I typed everything out. Where I say, okay, we could enter here because now we have this lower high, sorry, higher low. We have this higher low. Price makes a new high. So this higher low and this higher low. As long as these two are being maintained, buyers can take control of the market and just keep pushing price higher to these targets. This was my original targets where I'm saying I didn't expect price to go all the way up. This was like the targets where I was expecting price to get to. So this whole thing made sense. It was a very obvious trade, right? But I just missed that on it. But that's cool too. But the whole point of it is that whatever you're doing, maybe in this particular scenario, I was already bullish on gold. I knew, okay, I'm looking for buys on gold. So um price didn't do any, you know, kind of weird move. Maybe if price took out this high here and then comes down and takes out these lows, maybe I might say maybe I'm wrong, but it's not because you are wrong. Just because, like, I want to tell you this too. Just because you are wrong in your bias doesn't mean you should take the opposite trade. You only take the opposite trade when it makes sense too. So it's going to take a lot from you to be able to switch your bias without being emotional about it, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens most times is that people, when you see them, hey, you gotta spot when you are wrong. What now happens is that they try to spot when they are wrong so that they can take the opposite trade. I didn't say if you are wrong, take the opposite trade. I just said know when you're wrong. Sometimes you can be wrong, and the right thing to do would be to just stay on your hands and wait. So just because you are wrong doesn't mean you should get into the opposite trade. That might be another wrong decision. Only get into the opposite trade when it makes sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
Nasdaq made sense. I don't know about you, but for me, Nasdaq made a whole lot of sense. So what I would just say to you, for maybe as you're still getting into it slowly, I would just say when your bias is not straight, it's not like you have a bias. You have a bias where you're looking for buys, and session comes, and those buys are not coming for you. Just avoid the market. Don't even try to catch the open. Just avoid the whole thing. Just watch to see how it all plays out. I mean, the more you watch it, the more you're gonna start to get experience in it and see ways that you can be able to know when the opposite trade can play out and when it can't. So, but my point to you now is that just because I said know when you're wrong does not mean that whenever you are wrong, you should go and take the opposite trade. No, that's not how it works. Sometimes when you are wrong, you just have to stay on your hands and wait for price to give you a more good entry. So
Yeah.
yeah, you are wrong. Maybe you're not entirely wrong about the direction of the market. You just are wrong about your particular entry. Maybe you plan to enter here, but here wasn't the right time to get in. So just have to wait on your hands and wait the price to give you another entry here. So my point is just wait for now. For you, I would say when you have a bias, like you're looking for buys, and those buys, like signs are not yet coming for you, just wait. Don't try to take a sell. Just wait and wait for price to give you that buy. If it doesn't give you that buy for that day, then just call it a day and come back the next day.
Yeah, so I didn't flip my bias and go short on that when my trade didn't go through because, like I said before, in the past, every time I flipped my bias price, I would always reverse on me and then I would just take another loss. So I just didn't bother re entering.
That's good. So just avoid flipping your buyers for now. Just stick to your buyers because sometimes you can buy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, but breaking down gold still. Um, just just break down gold and see what we can expect in the market. So right now on gold though, um, it is bullish on gold, but it has not yet broken out of this very strong trend. But it's starting to look like it's starting to break out of it because we got this break from this high, but not from this high here yet. It's equal highs right here, and with the volume that we got from price last week, I was expecting price to like take it out from that with that
Mm-hmm.
volume. but as we can see, it has not yet quite taken it out. That is not for
Yeah,
that. That says something for me. It says that
it's trying to. We've got a higher low that printed on the daily time frame.
yeah, we do, yeah, we do, but we still haven't broken it, man. So you have to have that in mind. We just haven't broken it. So um, we don't want to start like we just haven't broken it. So as we haven't broken it, price is most likely price needs more money.
Mm,
That's what I'll say to you. Price needs more. So don't expect that price comes on Monday and boom, boom, boom starts going unless there is news. But right
yeah.
now, the,
I think Monday we'll probably see a small correction down before it pushes back up to try to break it again.
I think we can see a deep correction though. We might see a deep correction because, like I
Yeah,
said,
because that's what happened every time price got to that level is it had a deep correction.
yeah, and the fact that it did that comes here again. This was a lot of volume. This was a lot of volume that pushes price all the way up here, but still can break out of here. It shows you that price needs more money, and price could
Mm,
come take out some lows. Price could come take out some lows. So for me personally, though, just my personal opinion, I think price needs more money to break out of that zone. Or the buy price action looks very good, and the same way it looks very good is the same way there's going to be a lot of stop losses under these levels, under these levels, under these levels, under these levels. There are so many buyers under all these levels, and price might just decide that it's time for them to go. But I wouldn't come in and sell price immediately. No, I wouldn't do that yet because also you can't take away the fact that buyers are in this market. There's a lot of buying pressure here. So it's just to see how Monday comes in, how price starts to build, and then see what you're gonna do. But gold is kind of like a zone where you wanna watch. I do think it's gonna take out. It needs more money. It needs more money. When price cannot break a zone, it needs more money to break a
yeah,
for price to break a swing high zone. It needs to have more money than that swing high zone. So the fact that it hasn't broken out of it means that it doesn't have enough money to break out of it. That's how I look at it. So it needs more money. Mm, so when
one
it
of
comes,
these days I'll get it down. How do you back test ICC without being able to drop down to lower time frames? Because when I go back far enough into the time on replay mode, it'll tell me that there's no historic data for this time frame when I try to drop down to the 15-minute.
mm, okay, well, you probably would have heard Sai talk about this, but he tells me that Sai is big on forward testing than back testing. So he's like, because like back testing is just you looking for the perfect ICC setup. Doesn't really teach you much. So you wanna like forward test instead of back test. So I forward test more. I don't really back test that. I don't these days. The last time I did the back test, it's been almost six months or more. So more like I come into the week, I look at how prices were. I kind of forward test instead of back test. I think you should do that too. I mean, it's good instead of back
Yeah,
test.
I've been forward testing this past few weeks.
Yeah, forward testing teaches you more than back test because forward testing teaches you things with what's currently happening in the market with current market movements. Unlike backtesting, you're learning from 2 years ago what happened
Mhm.
2 years ago. Meanwhile, 2 years ahead of time. So you don't want to go backwards, you want to go forward. So I think you should forward test more instead of back test.
Gotcha.
I was expecting for you to have some questions for me because questions is like what I'm going to use to be able to get in more topics for you. Did you hear me?
Do what?
I said I was expecting to get more questions from you because questions is what I'm going to use to get in more topics for you.
Yeah, I don't really have many questions. Most of the time when I have a question, um, it usually pops up inside video that answers it. So
All right. So in terms of plan, because I'm trying to make a plan with you, a plan that that is going to allow you to find some structure. Because the whole point of this mentorship was just so that when you're done, you're gonna have some structure that you can follow
mhm.
through and get to like wherever you want to get to with trading. So in terms of your plan, what pair I need you to like you know need to have fewer pairs that you trading, right? So what pairs you think that you're looking to start trading? Um, trading from now on, something like that. From what you have
I've,
learned
I've
so far.
I've only been trading NAS and gold as long as I've been trading, which is a little over a year.
Okay, so we're gonna stick with Nas and Gold. That's a good pair because me I'm like last week I came to the group. I was like, nah, I've called way too many trades on the group this time around. I was like, yeah, I've called
Yeah,
way too many trades on the group. I need to cut that a bit. I came to my watch list. I saw all these pairs and I was like, SPR should probably go. US State should probably go. Euro USD should probably go. I know I'm gonna see come back at these pairs and see some good opportunities every once in a while, but I shouldn't be taking trading these pairs like as much as I do. I think having a
right.
focus on Nasdaq and gold is very good.
Yeah. If I had stuck with forex for the entire time that I was learning, I would probably have more pairs. But since I swapped over to futures pretty much like a couple months after I started learning, the futures market doesn't have access to the forex pairs, but I do have access to NAS and gold and US 30, um, which is the Dow, I think, and then we got I have platinum and silver and stuff.
Alright, so I think since you said that the futures prop firm is way more favorable than forex prop firm, that's what you say, right?
Do what?
The futures prop firm like funded accounts.
Yeah, they're the futures prop accounts are better, in my opinion, than the forex because you get around the same amount of leverage as forex, but the accounts are cheaper. So like on forex, it's probably $200-300 for a 50K account, whereas on futures side, I could get a 50K account for $50 to $100, and um, I don't have. You don't blow the account whenever you hit the daily loss limit. It just locks you out for the day. You have to blow the account by hitting the max loss limit. So you actually get more to work with on the future side. Plus,
Okay.
it's better tax wise for U.S. residents.
Okay. And also like for I guess I would say for the targets for your profits, how does their profit work in terms of um do you have like a target like 8% profit or something like that?
Yeah, so on the 50K accounts, you generally have to make $3,000 to pass, which I think that's what like 6%. Let me check real quick. Yeah, 6%. Make 6% to pass, and then you only have the one phase to pass, and then once you pass that, you just have to build a buffer in the account to get payouts. You don't have to do phase one, phase two, and then build a buffer and trade for a couple of days. You only have to do phase one and then trade for a few days to build a buffer and get a payout.
What's the buffer like? What's like the profit of the buffer like?
The accounts that I've been using, the buffer once you pass the challenge days is $2,000. So you have to make $1,000 less, and then but it switches from end of day drawdown to intraday or trailing drawdown until you hit your buffer. So the first $2,000 that your drawdown trails with you, and it counts on unrealized gains. So if you go up $1,000 in profit, but then you let price come down to 500 and you close, you still lost 500 off your drawdown. But once price on the next trade goes back above that last high that it reached, then your drawdown will start moving again.
Okay. So what if let's say for the day you after you pass the account, right? So you have a 50K life account, but you haven't built a buffer yet. So you enter a trade, you are up $1,000, but you closed at $500 because price pulled back. And yeah, you lost $500 for the day, for your drawdown, whatever. Then when the next day comes in, does that clear out?
When the next day starts, then you have, say you have a $2,000 buffer and you lost 500. The next day starts, you have a $1,500 buffer. But once you go back above that initial high that price made before it pulled back the first time,
Uh,
then your trailing drawdown won't start moving again until it hits that $2,000 distance. So price will always trail at a $2,000 distance unless it pulls back.
mm, okay, I think that makes a little bit of sense.
And then so it's like you could full port the account and get above the buffer in one quick trade without a pullback, or you can take small base hits and be above the buffer in a couple of trades. And then once you're above the buffer, the like on the prop firm that I use, once you're above the buffer, then you can take a payout immediately. You don't have to wait any days. So if you pass the buffer limit on the first day, then at the end of the day when the session closes, you can request a payout of anything that's over the buffer.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. So, anyways,
Yeah.
since for those prop firms you only have access to gold and NAS, I guess it's a blessing in disguise, because at least you, even if you're gonna get urged to trade other pairs, you can't because your broker don't accept it. So it's just gonna hold you back a lot. So it's good. So
Yeah, and unfortunately, as a U.S. resident, most forex brokers don't allow us to trade gold. So we would have to use like an overseas broker or a prop firm to be able to trade gold. If
mm,
unless it's on futures side, but and then the contract sizing on futures is a different size. It goes by ticks instead of pips. So I think forex is what 10 pips for 1 point.
yeah,
Well, futures is 4 ticks for 1 point. So a tick is 0.25 of 1 point.
okay, that's interesting.
So it's a little easier to calculate your stop losses and whatnot. And then also when you're adding in positions, you can't stack them on top of each other like you can on forex, where you can have an individual take profit and stop loss for each position. It adds the two positions together and gives you the average price of those two positions.
Okay,
But you can still scale in and close out positions as you go.
okay. it's interesting. I haven't used it before. I was asking this on your plan, but it sounds interesting. But there's a lot of things to consider there. But well, if you want to trade, if you ever want to go live, maybe on your own money, you can use liquid
Mhm.
brokers and just trade because they allow gold on us on their
Yeah,
app.
I have a forex account that allows me to trade gold. I just don't have any money to put in it right now, and I have a few hundred of bonus profits that they put in there for me from doing a deposit a while back, but I lost the initial deposit, so I can't trade those extra funds until I add more back to the account. But once I add more back to the account, I'll get another bonus and it'll stack on top. So then I'll essentially have more. And then I do also have a forex live account that I could do as well. Not a forex, but a futures live account as well.
So those
But
do you
I just haven't really been focused on a live account because I don't really have much consistency. But my initial goal was to make at least 10K from prop firms and then put that 10K into a live account and trade from there. Because if I can make 10K on prop firms, then I should at least be somewhat consistent enough to build that up on a live account.
yeah, definitely. I just kind of wish you didn't like blow up that 50K you blew up that other day on the props.
Yeah, you're talking about the 5,000 one I had or the 50K?
The 50K.
Yeah, that one I don't know what I was doing on that. I usually don't trade on Sundays, and I took a trade on Sunday and walked away, and it was gone. But I can if I get $650, I can reset that account, and I don't have to go back through the challenge phase on it. I can just start from the funded phase and then get back above the buffer.
And
But it's cheaper for me to just buy another challenge because the challenge is only $100, and then there's no activation fee either.
the funded account when if you reactivate it, do you still have to build that buffer again?
Yeah, I still have to build the $2,000 buffer again. But once I'm above that buffer, if let's say I make so like the last time I got a payout from there, I made $3,700 on the day on day one, and I took 1,300 of that after their profit split,
Hmm.
and then I blew the account the next day.
Crazy, crazy. Well, don't try if you can just keep up the account that blowing it and just keep be patient. I think you can hit that. You can hit 20K.
Yeah, my problem is mainly risk management. So I either size too large or like I said earlier, I flip my daily bias because I think I'm wrong, and then I end up taking two losses, or I hold drawdown, hoping that price will come back, and it never comes back, and then it blows my account.
It's crazy. Well,
But at least I can say that I'm not afraid to trade with higher size.
yeah, you're not afraid of the lot size. You just wanna just it's just. I would say you are afraid, but I would say it still triggers your emotion. That's why you
Yeah,
switch your bias so fast.
yeah. I think if I would have had a structured learning environment when I first started, it would have been a whole lot better than trying to just teach myself. I think that's what screwed me up was trying to learn on my own for a whole year without having a mentor.
Yeah, learning on your own for a whole learning on your own fucks you up a lot. It did same to me. I was like, if I just put in same money and paid a mentor, I would have been better off. But I've blown a whole lot of money on my own, and it was just
Mm,
stupid. It was stupid. But anyways, that being said, I just think uh, the only regret you have then is just maybe you can say maybe then you had a lot more money to risk here and there, and if you risk that money with already good dedication, you would have scaled it up quickly already. But it is what it
Hmm.
is. There's your chance. Market is not closed,
Yeah,
so you can just
and
do that.
I have passed a 300K account where I had to make 20,000, and I passed it in I think 2 or 3 days. So I know I can scale, and I know I can do good. I just have to get my emotions in check and my risk management,
Well,
and stop holding my losses until they go. Just cut them early.
yeah, well, if you just definitely know that if once you start, trying to manage your risk more properly, then you're gonna pass those accounts more slowly.
Yeah.
So you just work more on having should I say just work more on having uh your invalidation zone being more, just let's just say risk management in general, like your invalidation zone being more obvious, right? And like it being clear in terms of once price gets there, you are wrong and you can be able to close early than not just hold the whole thing without any direction, some or hoping that it comes back.
Right. Yeah, I need to just work on closing early, and then waiting for price to give me another entry chance to try to re-enter.
Well, I would say if you can sit, if you can manage to sit on your hands, to be willing to sit on your hands for a whole week without taking a trade, you're gonna see some really good opportunities that even if you use a very high lot size on it, it's gonna play out because you gave it so much time for the price to mature and give you a very clear entry. And when you get in, it just goes, it happens, it goes your way. That it's going to reduce. So the only way for you to still be able to work with risking having a huge lot size in trades and still be able to come out profitable is when you have to reduce the number of trades you are taking but increase your number of win rates. Because like right now, if I reduce the number of trades I'm taking and reduce the number of pairs I'm taking, I'm probably gonna see my win rate come up a lot, if maybe to 90%. So imagine you have a 90% win rate and you have a prop firm and you just calculate the risk in based on you have a 90% win rate and you just calculate it. If you take four losses, you've lost the account. That
Mhm.
when you have that, that's a high lot size. Now, knowing yourself fully, you know that the chance of you taking four losses is not very high, and most times you don't do that. And if you just take your first one win, two win, you'll pass everything that's required on that account.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I need to focus on just taking one trade a day. Two, if I take a small loss, and then go on from there.
Yeah, I'll just maybe not one trade a day, but I'll just say yeah, one trade a day, whether it's Nasdaq or gold, but as well, just being patient with those trades to really come out for you to take it to increase your win rate. And once you increase your win
Hmm.
rate, you can risk crazy money and still be able to come out profitable because it's something you're already doing. It's not crazy. It's not like crazy, crazy, crazy.
Yeah. Looking at the journal that I sent you a couple days ago, I have a fairly decent win rate. It's just my losses are too big.
Yeah, I looked at that. I was like, yeah, you have the wins, but you shouldn't let that get to your head because your losses when you lose that are too big.
Yeah.
You almost wipe out three wins. That is not good. So
Yeah, that comes from me holding and hoping that it comes back.
yeah, maybe it's from that, or maybe it's from you closing your winners early because you don't want it to go back to break even.
Yeah, but those small base hits add up over time.
They add up over time, but when you take the loss, it doesn't add up anymore.
Yeah, I just need to work on making my losses just as small.
You can't just blame it on the losses. If your stop loss is at a place where it should be, then it's not because of the losses. It's just that you have to start holding your winners longer to let it actually play out. If your stop loss is where it should be, because if you have a $1,800 stop loss, then your trade should be if at least a $4,000 trade. But
Mm-hmm.
if you have a $1,800 stop loss and then you close your trade at $1,200, then you closed obviously too early.
Gotcha.
So what I would say is if you trade a session, a particular maybe if you trade New York, and you most likely going to see your trades play out um same day most of the, if you are right. So just kind of let the trade play out. Try to catch more tight entry, more tight stop loss or something. But like you just have to like look at it again, work on it. It's not good for you to have big losses and small wins. It's not good. They add up, yeah, but it's not good in general. It can hurt you a lot. So you just wanna um yeah, you just wanna know how you can be able to dodge that bullet. Because the whole point of the whole thing is for you to be able to sustain, not even for you to be able to get the 10K. Because if you can get the 10K in the wrong way by practicing the wrong kind of trading, cool. You have the 10K, you put it in a life account, and within 4 months, within a year, you're back to zero. So it will be a question of what was that whole thing for? Because there's no, instead of you to go to 100 and then come back to zero, it's better you just stay at zero and never go to the 100 because it's it's going to be now more difficult for you to get back up, right? So
Right.
you try and build something sustainable, not just to make that 10K. You try and build something that you can actually live off of, something that you can actually you know predict what your results is gonna be over a long period of time. Like you can be able to live off of the income you're getting from trading. So with that, when you take when you consider that saying I want to be able to actually build something sustainable that I can live off of, that's when you're gonna see that those big uh big stop losses, those stop losses that you have is big, and those small wins. Yes, the small wins add up, but it is not going to be sustainable for you because one loss wipes away your 2 days of hard work. Not sustainable.
Yeah.
So you want, even if you're gonna hold that $1,800 stop loss, cool. At least hold the trades when they're in profit. Allow them to play out because you need those $4,000 profit to make that $1,800 profit. $800 loss. That is need to make sense. So
Mm-hmm.
it should be one win wipes away three losses, and not one loss wipes away three wins. And if you trade that sustainable way, what you're gonna find out is that when you get those your win streak, those your 4 wins in a row, 5 wins in a row, 7 wins in a row, that's just your level up. Just gonna take your trade from 0 to 100 in those win streak. And if you have a good win rate, I mean you're gonna live off trading very comfortably. If you have um once you have a, a good account, and maybe you have my trading experience, I mean, there's you can literally live off trading, man. Like easily, easy. Cause like trading, let me tell you how good trading is actually. Just so you understand what I'm trying to say. You can literally let's say you have $10,000 in your account, and you have another $10,000 in your trading account. You can just take a trip, go enjoy yourself for the entire week. Maybe go for a week vacation, and then while the week, just mark out your charts, wait for a trade for 3 days, and when the trade is finally set up, maybe you enter a trade risking like $1,000 and just keep going about your vacation. And then maybe after a day you come back and you see that you have made like $4,000 off the trade. So now, like, you just made $4,000. You're on vacation, you just made $4,000. Life is good. That's a whole level of another. That's a whole nother level of freedom. Cause like, I mean, you're gonna be so confident because you know how you trade. Like, you know how you trade. You're cool. You don't mind what the market does. That's the level you're trying to get to, where you don't mind what the market does. You don't mind waiting. You don't mind missing out on trades just because you want. There's a level. There's where you want price to come to before you get into the market. So that's a whole nother level of freedom. It's very good.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. But Rome wasn't built overnight, so we gotta stick it through, and it'll come.
Yeah, it's a room was built overnight. That's fact. So, but in general, like you're saying, that plan, let's let's stick with gold and Nasdaq. I would say for you, so you wanna stay with those two pairs. They are enough. You don't wanna come out one weekend and start trading BTC because someone said it's good. Nah, you wanna just stay on gold and Nasdaq.
Yeah,
Get
I would
down.
have to get a live account in order to trade BTC.
Yeah, so just stay on gold and Nasdaq. And uh, yep, maybe for those trades where you get in on 15 minutes time frame. I wanted to teach you this. I almost forgot. I'm gonna go to NAS. Uh, so what I'll say to you is this: when you're taking a trade, let's say you see a trade on the 15 minutes time frame where let me say let's say you see a trade on where price was making higher highs and higher lows. Maybe let me mark out this zone. Good. So let's say you see this trade on NAS, right? And maybe price corrects into these levels, session comes, and you take a trade here. What I want to tell you is that in ICC, I noticed this these days. In ICC, we were taught that this is a zone, and then price breaks out of the zone, corrects itself, then back above here, we're taught that you put your stop loss under here and target these highs, right? That
Hmm.
was basically what we learned from gold and all that. But what I'm gonna say to you that I've noticed these days is that, like, when you get in here, yeah, stop loss here, but you want to make a provision where, in case if that stop loss has to go down here, because what I've noticed mostly is price will come weak out, weak out stop loss on this low, and then start moving. Um, let me just explain it on the real chart because let's say let me not use this trade because this trade is good. Obviously, correct itself back up above this level. You take a buy. This one wicks you out. Boom, and then price starts to move in your direction. This is gonna sting a bit, but I'm going to use it on
Yeah, that's news.
yeah, that's gonna sting a bit, but I'll use it on a trade we took. This one, no, we took this trade here. It was 15 minutes. I think we took this trade here. or we got it, price broke, correct itself, so we got it here, right? So this one, it took out these lows. Mm,
Yeah, that's the one I got out for break even because it was whipping around too much.
yeah. So it took out this zone, and you also have this zone. So what I try to do, and I would say you should also try to do, is when you take a trade here, you want to have provision for your stop loss being under this low from extra cushion, because like I've seen this happen a lot where price comes in, wicks out these lows. Sometimes price can come all the way down here, but doesn't wick out this one. Sometimes price comes all the way down here, but doesn't wick out this one, but like wicks out these lows are always the first victims of that. So I would say just want to have a provision, not every time. Depends on the condition of the market and all that, and the pair, and like if that's stop loss all the way down here is a bit too much for you. But like I think it's better to kind of have a provision for a stop loss under there, just in case this weaker happens and all that. Unless you are willing to, maybe when that weaker happens and you see price start to push back up again, you're willing to get in again. But that's a whole different story. But I just want to say this out because it happened so many times. Even right now, USD JPY, what is it? Okay, even right now, USD JPY. If you look at here exactly, if you look at here, see where price took out these lows, but comes on this one, but never takes out this one. You see, so usually anyone will have their stop loss under these levels, but price takes
Hmm.
them all out, wicks them all out, and then starts pushing for that buys. So this can sting. This will really be can really hurt you. So I just think you have to have a provision for your stop loss being down here. When the trade starts to make more highs, then you can start reducing your stop loss.
I got you.
So it's not for every trade, just on select trades, especially the ones that you kind of feel that the stop loss is a bit too close. Because one thing with having a small stop loss is whenever you see that your stop loss is going to be small, it triggers you to start increasing your lot size because you want to make more, you want to make more, you want to make more, and all that. But like, sometimes you gotta lose too, and you don't want to lose too much. But anyways, gold and all the pairs, gold has been alright. Hasn't really done much, but it's been alright. I don't know if there's anyone that got a buy here and held it all the way through, but if there's anyone that did that, that person must be a fucking goat. Because this
Yeah,
was like
I wish I could hold long, man, but it's been a hard adjustment, but I'm slowly getting there.
holding longer. Shit. Like, sigh.
Because I've been scalping for the last year, so I'm usually used to the 1 or 5 minute chart, and I'm in and out, you know. But holding all day or holding several days, it's different.
For me,
And with the futures prop firm, I have to close before the end of session. They don't allow you to hold during that hour break. But once the session reopens, I can re-enter a position and hold all night until the close of next day.
well,
Unless I have a live account, then I can hold all night.
for me, I'm a day trader, so when I enter a trade today, I'm mostly looking to close it today. So I don't hold it until the next day, unless
Hmm.
maybe I'm in drawdown. Then maybe I will hold it to next day. But in general, I'm always looking to close the trade during that day because I'm a day trader. I'm not a scalper. Though sometimes as a day trader, some trades move quick and they happen
Hmm.
very quickly. But in general, just always looking to close the trade that day. I don't want to hold it into the next day because I want to close that day and the next day come in to the next day with a clean mind.
Right.
So holding for the whole session and maybe as you trade New York, holding for that whole session of New York, it's a very good idea. Just enter New York opens, you see a trade, enter it, and just try to hold that trade until session is done. Because what happens most time is that when a session picks a direction, it usually moves in that direction until the session is over. Sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes it ranges though, but most of the time it just stays on that direction until the session is over.
Yeah, and it's only going to make one decent move a day. Some
Yeah,
days it'll make a big move, and then other days it'll just chop around.
yeah, exactly. So once you have a target, you know that if you hold the trade and trade comes to your target, that's why SI doesn't use take profits because if it's really is a lot of pressure and price comes to your target, you just break through it and keep going. It's like gold did.
Yeah.
Kind of broke through it and keep. You don't wanna lose out on this kind of trades because you have a TP. But at the same time, some days when price gets to your target and it starts closing on that level, you wanna just like say, all right, I'm good. I'm a head out and just move out of the trade.
Hmm.
So, but you want price to get there, and you see how price is reacting, and then you make a decision. That's why you use alerts instead of putting TPs.
Yeah. And then you can just trail your stop every time it makes a higher low.
That one works when price is really bullish or bearish. Like the pressure it has a lot of pressure. That's when that kind of thing happens where price just keep pushing. But sometimes, most times, you're gonna see something like this where it just moves, something like this. So I would say swing low if your stop loss is under a swing low or swing high, good. But if it's just under after every high, you put stop SL
Well,
already.
I don't mean like every candle on that. Like here on the 15 minute, you would move every swing level. So like every time it makes a correction and continues back up, you would move up underneath that correction.
Yeah,
That's what I meant by high or low, or high or low or high. So if
okay.
you're trading the hourly, then every time the hourly levels would pull back and then continue forward, you would move your stop up to that level.
Yeah, true. But
You're basically riding the waves. Every time the wave dips down, you move your stop to that low part, and then it rises up and whatnot.
definitely, and where the challenge comes is when the correction is happening, you get to think a lot because you're wondering, is this a correction or is it a pullback or is it just price changing trend? Anyways,
Yeah.
that depends on the context. But either ways, I think that's all I got for today. I don't know if you have something else you want me to discuss for you.
No, it's been a pretty good session. I got to get up early, so I'm probably going to call it a night. Might do a little bit of back testing or just wait till tomorrow because I'll be off tomorrow and then maybe Monday. Because Monday's a holiday, so I don't know if I can find a reload after I deliver tomorrow.
Okay, I think that works. Um, well, anyways, cool. I think that's all I have for. I think we're gonna be doing more classes in between the week. But that's just gonna be maybe after you're done with the whole payment, then you're just gonna have to add more classes in between the week. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, it's okay. I'll have to. We'll just have to coordinate around the times where I get shut down because There's some days where I'm shut down early, and some days I'm shut down late. So we'll just have to kind of work around that. Because if I'm driving and then I'm listening, and I'm not really, I may not be able to pay attention to everything while I'm driving.
Yeah, definitely. So you just whenever we're done, or you're done with the whole premium stuff, because we have a year, so it's a long time. So when you're done with this, so we gotta like, set up, add one more class within the week where we just get to as forward test live, and also you know show you trades that we kind of be looking at, because it's gonna help you when we think it helps you a bit these days, where we these weeks where we just kind of analyze the market, have a bias that we're looking for the whole week, and just trade
Mm,
according to that bias as long as everything is still played out. It helps
sounds
sometimes.
good to me.
So just add more, and then start getting those intraday uh directions, maybe. Because let's just like right now on gold, prices here. I don't know what price will do here, so maybe next week may come and it may show you bearish signs, or it may show you bullish sign. I don't know what it's going to do. Right now, I'm just saying, okay, I'm expecting price needs more money to go, so I'm expecting price to try and grab more money. So, but it's all depends on what happens next week. For Nasdaq though, I think Nasdaq is bearish now. I didn't break down Nasdaq for you. So I think for the fact that Nasdaq rejected this area and now taking out lows, I think it can sell. Also, if you consider the fact that, because someone marked this out for me, asking me why did I sell, consider that this can also be ICC on NAS, right? This could be ICC, and this as well could be ICC.
Get the indication and then correct back up to that level.
Yeah, but I rather use this one. This one doesn't look very clear. So I rather use this one. So this could be ICC, and this could be price trying to get to these lows. But right now, we're seeing that price has taken buyers out of the market completely. I don't know if it's gonna correct. I hope it's gonna correct, but I honestly don't think it's going to do that. But if it happens to correct itself into these zones, then that could be your another correction, and then you're gonna be like looking to get back in on the continuation, maybe
Right.
um I don't know how deep it's gonna correct itself, but like just know that just because when you see price correcting, moving up, don't think um price has taken buyers out now, so it's trying to go up now. Just know it's a correction, because look at this. This is like clean ICC, if I'm being honest with you. So I didn't get catch this here too bad, but this is clean, and price can correct itself. If it's correct itself, good. But we are still looking for sales. We're not looking for buys. I think sales is the only valid call that we have here. I do think price is gonna correct into these zones. I would love that. I would love to see price correct into these zones. That would be very good. So if it does, we'll just be looking for that reversal to get in the sales and keep targeting lows. Because right now, I think price could get all the way down here.
Yeah, there's a lot of gaps to be filled, so eventually they'll get filled.
Yeah, this is a low. This is a price has been bullish. Price made this low. Price is most likely gonna after some time get back to this low.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I
we'll
can
see.
see it now. We have the higher low, higher high, and then it made a higher low, and then now it just made a lower high, and it's on its correction down from that.
Yeah. So this could be that correction. This could happen. Price could price could be like aiming for this zone. So we're just hoping to get in an entry and see how far it's gonna go. But sales on I think sales on Nasdaq is focusing on Nasdaq next week is gonna be a better play
Mm.
than gold, considering where gold is at the moment. Gold is at a very decisive level where it's
Yeah,
either
it's
gonna
at all
go up,
time highs.
yeah, it's either gonna go up. Not all, I don't think it's the all time high because there's this high here.
Oh, well, it's close to all time high.
Yeah, it's close. So, do you really want to be buying at all time high? I don't know about that one. I don't know
Mm.
about that one. I'm not trying to give.
I'm looking for that low right there at the top to get broken. The low that it made Friday afternoon. I'm looking for that, followed by a lower high, and then at least take it down to that area of support where the uptrend started.
Yeah, just you can throw in that one risk on there, see how it plays out. For me though, I think buyers are in the market too, so they can force some stop losses to get taken out. I don't know, but for me personally, right now, I think for someone low on risk, I think Nasdaq is more better sit and focus thing. But one one reason why I like Nasdaq is cause like it doesn't give an opportunity every other day. True, but when it gives you an opportunity, it usually just plays out. It doesn't fuck around like other pairs do.
Yeah, and it gives a lot of points.
Exactly.
It'll be one candle for 200-300 points, and the whole day it'll be at least 300 points on average. Except for back during the election time when it was doing like 13 to 1,500 points a day.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Um. So and so for that reason, knowing Nasdaq, you could expect price could next week, price could drop or could just start drop it all the way and just get to the zone next week. That's
Hmm.
NAS for you. It has the power to do that. So I think for me personally, I'll just keep more eyes on NAS. I just think that I just wouldn't like to see price not correct because that would put me in more trying to make a good decision. But if I can see a correction, I'll be very happy for that continuation sell. But even if that doesn't happen, under this level is still a very valid zone to sell during session. So if price is under this zone during session, it's still a very solid zone to sell. And just keep looking for lower lows under these levels and under this level. So for me personally, Nasdaq is more is looking more good, better. But you just have to be patient with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's the end for today.
A good session. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Alright, got you. Nice.
All right, later, dude.